And, you know, the children ranged from 50 to 60, depending on admissions and releases. So many children locked up in this small, dingy cell. The children crying, it felt like hell. The place, the stench in the place, because there was no aeration. Children crying every minute, and women crying, holding their bellies, most of whom didn't know where their children were. I thought, this is hell.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Inchi Monday. We're having a conversation with Teresa Njoroge of Clean Start, and it's I don't know. Let's just discuss this. So first of all, there are things that we've stopped. First of all, what are bostels?
So a bostel is a correctional facility for teenage boys or girls.
Are they kept separately?
They are kept separately so that they are not mixed with the adults.
Because the prison system.
Because of
so
the
there's a solution for them.
Yes.
There's also, you told me there's no solution, but I want to go back first to your story. There's no solution for, and those bostels take them from what age?
So from, say, 14, 15,
yes,
up to about 18.
So we have a problem, you said, between 8 and 13.
Yes.
Because there's no plan for those ones.
They're normally put in rehab schools, and then there's no plan post the rehab schools. They're on their own and mostly stigmatized and not taken by other schools.
Okay. So now, where were we with your story? So now you've done 2.5 years?
I've done 2.5 years of in and out
court
of
cases.
courts, and now it's time for conviction. So between these two
Is
and
it conviction or sentencing?
Sentencing. So within these 2.5 years, as I'm going through my court case, God is God, because that's when I met my husband.
First of all, I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. That's how you met your husband.
Yeah.
But God is God.
Yeah. So God is God. My husband, he had come to Kenya, and he had come to reunite with his mom, who had relocated to Kenya, born and bred in the US, and you know, he had really never interacted much with the Kenyan community.
Had he even been to Kenya?
Once.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's off he's come to for his mom.
Yeah, who's here in Kenya now. And he's going back because you know, they've always lived in the US. That's where that's where their lives are. So within that time, when he's briefly here, we meet through his mom, because I had initially met his mom when I was working within the banking sector. And so I'm trying to stay away from his mom because she believes I could help her just find her way around investing in Kenya and rebuilding her life here. But I'm now this thief, and I don't want her to be I do not want to take advantage of her by being this thief and this person who no one wants to associate themselves with, because people dropped me like a hot potato. No one wanted to associate themselves with me, fear of maybe being also co-accused with me, being branded with this thief. People really didn't know how to handle me, and so the easiest thing was just disassociate yourself with Teresa.
Yeah.
But after I said to her, you know, this is exactly what happened to me. I'm no longer working within the financial sector. I'm now going through a court case. So just find someone else who could assist you. But she said, come with me. I'd like to talk to you. I'd actually like to support you through this journey.
Wow.
It's a tough season.
Wow.
And my son is actually here from the US, and I'd like him to also meet you. But his mom had this conviction that he really wanted his son to marry me.
She did?
She did. And she said to the son, this must be your wife.
What?
And, you know, it was a really funny story, because everyone was, you're going through a court case, what's this marriage story about? And then this man who wants to marry you when you're in the depths of such a shameful, tough situation.
Dark situation.
But he stood by me and he said he wanted to marry me. And so it was such a blessing, because I had someone at least who was sober enough to go through my file in the evenings, put the facts together, and really prepare myself for the next session. because these 2.5 years were very traumatic. And it's during that time that we got blessed with our firstborn daughter. And I remember that 4th of March 2011, as we went to court, we were so happy. I remember dressing my daughter in one of her favorite dresses, a purple dress, very beautiful, that my sister-in-law had bought. And we say to each other, this is that day
of freedom,
when we draw our lines and put this behind our backs and start building our lives as a family. And we were so happy. And as we got into court with my whole family there, waiting for this freedom. Because what happens is, when you have a case in court, your entire family is in court with you. What has happened, your mom, your dad, everyone is in court with you. And so the counts were read and dropped, one after the next.
The counts were dropped?
By the time of the theft. And by the time we were on the third one, I even started breastfeeding my daughter, because I was like, this is exactly what I've been saying. I'm innocent. And not guilty, not guilty. And the counts were being dropped. And we got to the fourth and the last one. And the magistrate says that, in spite of the fact that you didn't steal, you might have conspired with somebody to defraud the bank. And we all froze. And after that, she said, I'm sentencing you to a year. I didn't hear anything else post that. I just saw my husband in tears. My mom's face went down. We all went silent. And at that time, I just saw the journalists just taking photos. But we all froze at that moment. And all I remember is that I held so strongly to my daughter. And within minutes, I was whisked to the cells down. And my husband tried to say something to me, and the police lady said to him, she's a criminal. And he said, I want to speak to my wife, and was told, this is not your wife, this is a criminal. She belongs to the state now, move. And it was immediately that sentence was read and I was convicted, things turned around. And so downstairs, and within a short while, into the Kenya prisons bus. And this time round, as a criminal. And all I could remember was the 9-year-old girl who really wanted to be a banker, contribute to the growth of this country and grow my life, support my parents and my siblings, take good care of my family. But here I was, at the largest correctional facility for women in this country. And I just couldn't reconcile these two worlds. And I wondered, Kenya, how can you get it so wrong? How could you leave the guilty ones on the outside and bring me, the innocent one, to prison? What's this system about? And for 3 months, I couldn't talk, I couldn't say much, because it just wasn't sinking that this is possible. And because my story was in the limelight and everyone knew I was there, as it was well covered in the dailies, I started finding out why these women had been imprisoned. So what's your case? What's your story? And because of the trauma, the prison warders were so supportive. And they say to me, well, you take care of your 3-month-old daughter.
Because you're with her.
Yeah. Take care of these other children here. And, the children ranged from 50 to 60, depending on admissions and releases. So many children locked up in this small, dingy cell. The children crying, it felt like hell. The place, the stench in the place, because there was no aeration. Children crying every minute, and women crying, holding their bellies, most of whom didn't know where their children were. I thought this is hell. But as I took care of these children with very little, because in prison is not a fairy place. You know,
resources are limited.
There are no caps, there is nothing to take care of these children. You know, that's the time I learned that you could tie a plastic bag on the child because there's no diaper. And I started to understand the importance of a plastic bag.
Jesus.
Because then we had not banned the plastic bags. And that's what I would tie the children with. So people would come to visit me to mourn, and I'd be like, no, there's a lot to do. Go and bring Vaseline, go and bring diapers, go and bring bar soap. We need to take care of the women and the children who are here. Bring rice, bring green grams, bring milk, so that we can give these children a good start. So after those 3 months of being in a very traumatic place and finding out from the other women why they were imprisoned, I soon realized it's just about 30% that needs to be in prison, because they for sure killed someone, robbed violently, and for sure they're a threat to society. But 70%, for crying out loud, shouldn't even be here. Lucky me, I had a lawyer. These women do not even know what a lawyer means, didn't get legal representation. You're explaining to a woman why she's in prison because she didn't even understand her sentence or the charges that she was up against. She can't read, she can't write, can't even write her name, bought a wrong license. And then she's put it there, and this license is wrong. So when the authorities come, the license and what she's selling doesn't match. So she doesn't even get it. We've taken those people who couldn't even get education opportunities, and we've brought them in there. Women coming in there, they were prostituting. And I was like, no, this is wrong. This is very wrong. So my turnaround came. And now, as opposed to saying to God, why could you allow this to happen to me? I started asking God, what is it I can do to right these wrongs that I'm seeing right in front of me? And I started talking to the women, and post my release and eventually getting cleared, because that judiciary, eventually I sat in front of a judge who would see the sense in everything and see that I was innocent, and he granted me that justice.
So he cleared your name.
Vindicated me. I even got compensated by the government of Kenya. And I got that freedom. But seeing women in the thousands who will never taste justice, who will never taste freedom, just didn't sit right with me. And that's how I set up Clean Start, to give not only myself a clean start with my children, but also the thousands of women and girls in this country who need a clean start, who need to taste some form of justice. And so we coach them, and after coaching them, and the coaching is really saying to this woman, life has been unfair to you. You couldn't get the education opportunity or the economic opportunities to grow yourself or provide for your family. But you know what? We can dream again. We can start again. And so that's what we do with Clean Start. We go into these correctional institutions, whether it's for the women, whether it's for the young girls, and we also look after our children. And we say, how do we give ourselves the clean start? And it's through the coaching, helping them realize the greatest version of themselves that they could be. Some of them have gone back to school. Some of them have started businesses.
Have you provided those opportunities? Because I was going to say, as we end this and I go to the next section, is sometimes, even when I've heard you say that, even right now, do you give them false hope? Are you giving them hope that is going to lead to something? Because you can come in here and coach me, start changing my mind. Okay, maybe that I can now reverse how I think about myself. But the problem is the opportunity. So do I match the change in mindset and thinking to opportunity, and how do you do that? But hold that thought. Sure. You're watching Wananchi Monday, and we'll be back next Monday. God bless. Bye-bye.